able to effectively nurture and manage the leads that you've worked so hard to get?
Well, if that is you, then let us tell you something. All right, so first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Ilika Follett, and I'm a wellness business strategist who works with overworked wellness pros looking to move away from the chase and the grind to monthly recurring revenue. And we do this by working less, living more, and feeling better.
And I'm Carmela Wilson. And I work with Ilika Follett. I am an automation expert, and we've put our heads together and founded Wellness Growth Pro just for you. We talked about the issues earlier of generating leads, nurturing those leads, and managing 17 million different systems. Well, we have a solution that is a complete game changer for the industry. And it is called Wellness Growth Pro, and we can tell them more about it.
So Wellness Growth Pro, like Carmela said, is gonna change your business. Here's the thing, right? I was in the wellness community. I was a health and wellness coach, fitness trainer for about 7 years. I found myself constantly working on my business, constantly trying to create my landing pages, and then my landing pages are in this system, and then my email system's in this system. I'm trying to get them all to talk, right? And I found myself constantly doing all these things and not having enough time to actually do what I love to do, which was coach my clients, help them achieve their goals.
Been there.
Yep, exactly. And so now with Wellness Growth Pro, we get to shift all that for you. We've got a system that brings everything together for you, and we've got the support that you need to ensure that you get to manage your business.
That's right. You don't just get the system, you get our brains, and you get the support you need to get up and running fast. We're not here just trying to collect a monthly subscription. We don't succeed unless you succeed. So we're here to help you every step of the way.
Exactly. And you won't find that anywhere else. So if you are ready, I want you to go to wellnessgrowthpro.com. Click on that button. We'll sit down and have a quick chat, and let's take your business to the next level. All right, so we are back. I'm super excited. Oh, I've got a little bit of an echo. All right, so welcome back. Playing you. We had an amazing time with Nori McGrath up here as a transformational and healing coach, and she spoke about choosing you, letting your light shine. So remember, you can always go back and watch that later, because we are keeping the replay in the GPS to Success Facebook group. So if you're not in the Facebook group yet, definitely text the word day one to 59, no, text the word day one to 443-594-7733. So you can get into the Facebook group. And when you're in the Facebook group, guess what? You get to ask questions to the speakers live, and they'll answer your questions. Like, where else is that happening? Remember, all the speakers are here together in the room. So this is an amazing opportunity to really get what you need and really choose you, relinquish Superwoman, and reclaim you, right? So we have our next speaker coming up. I'm super excited. And remember, if you're like, this is awesome watching online, I need to be in that room. Like, they are really having amazing, not only it's a fun time, right? We're having a great time here. And also we're having transformational opportunities, and you get to really be in the room with these amazing speakers sharing their gifts. You want to be in the room, right? So what I want you to do, if you want to be in this room, is I want you to text
Ilika.
Ilika, my bad. Text Ilika, Ileka, to 443-594-7733. Because we are doing this again in February, where you get to actually be in this room with some amazing experts. And if you're an expert, you may actually get the opportunity to speak as well. All right. So coming to the stage, this is an incredible personal coach. She's also an attorney, and she has also figured out a way to not be a stiff attorney. Like this, because that's what we think about when we think of attorneys, right? We think of, oh, they're buttoned up, they're put together, they've got everything together, right? We get to release, we get to have fun, we get to enjoy life. It's mom of two, awesome friend, awesome overall person, and a great personal coach. So I'm introducing to you right now, Gila Lee. Hey, Gila!
Yay!
Yay!
Oh, so
So
awesome.
excited.
Thank you so much. So exciting. So much magic today. Nuria was gold. So many gold truth bombs there. I can't even get over it. And Ailika's brilliance, of course. She had me go right after Nuria, and I really piggybacked really well off of her message, which is for me all about adding more fun and play in your life, because when you do that, things just change. They change in such an incredibly positive way. You'll be seeing the slides. I'm going to give a shout out to my daughter Zoe. I'm really proud she created these slides for me. They would look a whole lot different if I had done them, and she's amazing. So playful, playful. Okay, so when did you stop playing? That's, I know I stopped maybe even as a kid. Like, I was not that super playful kid. Many of us though were, and then as we got into adulthood, we stopped. And I encourage you to look inside and ask yourself, when did I stop playing? When did I believe that poop? I got it on there. That you couldn't have fun as a grown up, and to be productive and to be, achieve your goals and live the life you wanted, you had to save fun for later. It's nonsense. Life is now. You got to do it now. So, and do you even remember anymore what it feels like to really have fun? And I don't mean the obligatory fun where you're like sitting down with somebody pretending to have fun while you're going off on your to-do list in your head, right? Or thinking about something else. I mean, like, really, really fun. Do you even know what lights you up anymore? So many of us just forget, right? We lose sight of it. So I invite you to get back in touch with that. And I'm going to give you some techniques and tools today to get in touch with that and to allow yourself to start having fun. I'm gonna grab some water. Okay. So what do you got? As I was saying, adulting can be hard. There's that hustle and grind that so many of us have bought into, and it's just not true. And when you start to allow yourself to have more fun and live in the moment, organically, your life is going to shift, and you are going to see things fall into place and line up, and it's just incredible, the magic that happens. All right. Yeah, we've been programmed, hustle and grind, fun someday. Someday is not a day. It's not a day of the week. There's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. There's no someday. So you got to do it now, right? And again, when did you buy into the bull? The bull that it's frivolous, it's not responsible, all of these things. I know I really believed it for a long time, especially as an attorney, having stepped into a role of high responsibility and stress. I thought I had to be so buttoned up. I was, in a Wall Street job, very young, executive around just men, right? So I thought I had to be this like tightly wound, buttoned up, I got it all together, serious person. And I got to tell you, I think I would have been a whole lot more enrolling back then if I would have been just a little bit more fun. So, as I was saying, yeah, I lived that tightly wound life. As Alika shared, I'm a lawyer. I've been in, high stress jobs for a long time. Mom of two. A lot goes into momming two amazing daughters, and to keep them amazing, I get to put up with a lot of things that are challenging, and a cancer thriver. So, this is not exactly the resume of somebody that you would think of as light and playful. And frankly, when I say light and playful, I don't necessarily mean you got to step into your clown. No, like it's going to look different for every person, but it's a lightness, it's an energy, it's an allowing things to flow and happen, right? And to just Stop trying to control all the things that we just can't control. And by the way, you'll notice probably if you're looking at the slides, whenever I refer to cancer, CAN, big, because for me, it was life-changing, pivotal. I'll share a little bit about that later, but this is not about me, but it's, the can in cancer that for me really was wow. So you can do this really into your life, and you can do it now. You can start in this moment, and when you do that, like I said, magic is going to happen. You will have a lot more fun in your life. So who is this talk for? The high achievers, right? The tightly wound, I gotta control it, I gotta do it myself, I gotta make it happen, I got a target to hit next week, next year, that's when I'll have fun, right? And someone just said this morning, life is what happens, right? What's the quote? Life is what happens when you're busy making plans. Live your life. Live your life. Don't just exist. So, power play. Have more fun. All right. The 3 tips I'm going to share, the secrets I'm going to share with you to start playing right now, like right now. Number 1, smile. Even when you don't feel like it, smile. You'll see changes your state. I'll go into that a little bit more. Lighten up, just generally. Lighten up and delegate and eliminate. That is a huge one. And originally, actually, that's what Ailika really asked me to speak on. And I was going to focus exclusively on that. But I realized that when we don't understand the importance of play, and have that mindset shift, we won't allow ourselves really important, first have that mindset shift. So, and my bonus tip, be kind to your future self. This is so huge. A great friend of mine, Lee Emery, used to say this all the time, and I picked it up because I just think it's so genius. And when you're kind to your future self, you got to be having fun in the moment and having a light energy, right? It's super, super important. We'll get into that a little more later. So tip number 1, smile right now. Challenge yourself. I don't know how many of you find that if you really pay attention, your default face kind of droops, right? Like when I sit around, if I'm not paying attention, maybe my posture goes down, my face kind of drops, right? And so I have instilled this practice of reminding myself to smile even when I'm faking it, and it's amazing what it will do. It really changes your state. So I don't know if you've ever heard of power poses, right? The stand like Superwoman or Superman, or the high five habit from Mel Robbins. There are studies about this, right? These things actually change your state, and smiling is exactly like that. So start smiling now, practice it, bring it into your day-to-day. It's really amazing. It doesn't cost any money, doesn't take any time. Just do it. It's powerful stuff. All right. And I have some science here for our analyzers and the people who like to think about, why would I smile? So smiling, really, it's a natural mood booster. It's a stress melter, and it helps create connection, right? Who do you want to speak to and be with in a room? The person with the droopy RBF face, or the smiling person, right? That's who we're attracted to. And when we really think about, most of us, who we want to be that light. That light is emanated through smiling. So do it. It's good for you. Plus, one of my other mentors that I love, Shanda Sumter, says connection is currency. So smiling will help you connect. So I have a free gift that I'd love to offer you today. Go to GilaLeodato.com or text the day 1, and it's a PDF, 10 easy ways to smile more every day and why you should, right? It will really help you to instill that habit. And please go get yours. All right, tip number 2, lighten up. And I have 2 funny, interesting antidote stories I'm going to quickly share with you my laminated man story. I love this. I love it. It was, my gosh, almost 20 years ago now, around 20 years ago. I was just after divorce number one. Yes, number one. And I was at my parents' house, miserable in my pity party, really sad, feeling all the feels, all the blues, and just feeling overall bad for myself. I wanted, love again. I didn't think it was possible. Just was in a bad state. And I go to the bathroom. I grab a magazine because I can't sleep, and I start flipping through this magazine, and I see there's like a spread of interesting people, right, who do these really interesting things. And I see a picture of this guy, and I get a zing. Have you ever gotten that electric zing, right? So I get this zing, and I'm like, oh, that's my guy. Sounds crazy, right? Some guy in a magazine. I'm like, that's my guy. I rip the picture, Staples or Office Max, I don't remember, I get it laminated. Somewhere, like maybe a room with rubber walls, getting a little concerned. So I could bring it with me. He slept next to me. I know it sounds funny, but I was light about it. I knew he wasn't real. But it changed everything. And here's something crazy. The back of the picture had, and I don't even know if this was about him or about the next person spread. On the back of the page, it described him or the next person and said that he was an avid photographer of extreme snowboarders. Fast forward a few weeks, summer starting, a friend asked me to go out to Fire Island. I go out to Fire Island, and this gorgeous guy who looks, I kid you not, exactly like my laminated man, way too young for me, but picks me up, right? And he's pitching me, and eventually we started dating. I gave in. And this guy, extreme snowboarder and photographer. What? I mean, come on. So when you lighten up, it is amazing what magic will happen. Number two, in order to lighten up, a friend of mine, Daniel Tuttle, amazing, amazing healer. He goes by the Provocative Intuitive. You can find him online. And he shares this idea that when you want to lighten things up, sit wherever you are, things are heavy, they're feeling bad, say in your mind to whatever, do you want to have sex with me? It could be anything, anyone. But when you say, do you want to have sex with me in your mind, the energy shift is powerful, right? It sounds ridiculous. I didn't put it all there because my daughter, as I mentioned, the 11-year-old, is the one who made the slide thing. So, but it's super powerful. I use it all the time. I use it with men, with women, with animals, and I'm not interested in that, obviously, but I'm telling you, it really, really helps. Lighten up, use it. Laminated, create your own version of the laminated man, and just, hey, you want to have sex with me? All right, next, what thriving cancer taught me. And now I'm going to move into the eliminate and delegate. Now that we really understand the importance and power, I hope, of having more fun and playing. So when I had cancer, I came to realize there was a point I just couldn't do the amount of things, right, that I was doing before. I mean, physically, right, there were points at which I could not. And I needed help. I needed support if I wanted my life to look even remotely, like what I wanted it to. And so I enlisted help. I hired a woman. What a gift she was. She came to my home 3 days a week, 4 hours each time. To me, this felt like, what am I, a Rockefeller? Who do I think I am, right? Hiring this person. She did laundry. She cleaned out the fridge. She did all those things. Here's the crazy thing. This woman was, like I said, a godsend. 12 hours a week. But in 12 hours a week, there was more to do. I would walk around my house and see, whoa, there's more to do, right? And that's when it hit me. And I finally understood, why am I spending at least that amount of time chasing after things like laundry that are never going to forward my life, right? Like cleaning out the fridge, never going to earn me any income, never going to help me build my relationships with my children or the people I love. It's not going to get me anywhere, right? But of course, these things need to get done. And that was such a mind-blowing mindset shift for me. And since then, I have given myself and my family and the people I love the gift of outsourcing and eliminating things that just are not that important. So I encourage you, really do the math. Look, what is it? Can you delegate or eliminate? Is it something you can pay? Maybe it feels like a lot, but is it really a lot if you then use that time you have opened up to be with people you love, to create amazing memories, or just frankly to go out there and get it and build your career, right? And create more income. So do it. And just, here I say, if you're honest with yourself, how many things are you doing that are just not really getting you closer to the life that you want? All right. So in addition to the free PDF that I have, which please, I encourage you, go on there and just keep smiling, right? Start smiling and keep smiling. I have coming up my Laminated Life workshop. It's going to be a 3-hour workshop, and we are going to go deeper into these concepts then. We're going to go deeper into what we learned today and more. You're going to have an opportunity to really start to see your blind spots and create a plan for yourself to bring more joy into your life and free up that space so that you can do with it whatever you want that's meaningful for you. And again, who is this for? And, high achievers. You realize you're existing and you're not really living, right? You're living in the someday or in the past. You're trying to hit these targets, and then maybe you hit the target and you're like, what's now, right? How many of us have had that anticlimactic moment where you hit it and you're like, now what? Like, that doesn't feel the way I thought, and now I'm lost because I don't have a target. This is not the way to live. It's a way to exist. And to piggyback off of what Maria shared, like, who do we want to be for our children, or if we don't have children, for the other people we love in our lives? We want to be a beacon of light. We need to, a rising tide raises all ships. We need to be our best selves so that we can give and be for others. You cannot do that from an empty cup. You can't be sick enough to heal other people, right? You can't be poor enough to give to other people. You need to create that for yourself so that you can give it to others. And I love this line. If you feel like the days are long, but the years are short and flying by, this is really something for you. You got to change that. And the only way to change that is now. So you can get a free ticket when you sign up for a friend, because I really believe that, if you want to have more fun and you want to really get these things going, right, bring a friend, lock arms, make it happen. Create your buddy group. So here, a little more detail, $97. You bring a friend, create, you'll have on-demand access to the workshop, get a playbook, and we will workshop in it. It's not talking at you. We're going to take time and we're going to build things that we need. We're going to hot seat people. We're going to help you see your blind spots, and we're going to help you create an action plan so that going forward, you really can have more time in your life. More time for fun, not more poop. All right. And actually, because I love a good infomercial, wait, there's more today, because of the gifts that this is giving me, and I want to generously share. Bring 2 friends with you for that $97 ticket. Bring 2 friends, create your little squad, lock arms, be cheerleaders for one another, and step into a new phase of your life together. Because it's one thing to do these things and then go out in the world on your own, but when you have those people that you love that can do it with you, we all know feelings they're not going to help you. Willpower, it's not what it takes, right? You need people around you who are in this with you together so that when you have that crap day, they're pulling you up. And when they have that crap day, they're pulling you up. And what a gift it is to serve others, but also to allow them to serve you. So be with other people. Come, join us. I promise it's going to be fun. Because I'm about the fun. So I think I went through pretty fast.
Yes.
But that's, that's all the stuff today.
That was awesome.
Really
So
appreciate you being here.
let's do some questions.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And I mean, the power of play, right? Like Hila said, we stopped playing at some point in our lives, especially as adults. When we were told that adults don't play. Like, I don't feel like my parents played, and grandparents definitely did, right? It seemed like they just had us and then did stuff for us, right? That's what it felt like.
I got angry about doing stuff.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, I know, right? And that's when we actually get to step into play again. So, Hila, one of the questions that came up, because I know you talked about laminated life, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So you mentioned kind of bringing that in.
Yeah.
What was it? What was that like last straw, that last thing that happened that made you say, you know what? I'm tired of this crap. I'm tired of doing all the laundry. I'm tired of doing all the drives back and forth. Like, what was it that happened?
So I so appreciate you asking, because it was cancer, really. It was cancer that had me have that moment, of understanding. I know I handled cancer a lot differently than a lot of other people handle things like this. I guess my 20 years of obsession with leadership training, with all things energy healing, all of this came together. And in the moment I learned that I had this diagnosis, I made a decision. It was going to be a gift. It was going to be the best thing that ever happened to me. And from that, I was going to create everything I wanted in my life. And more importantly, I was going to model for my children that no matter what happened, I could create amazing things. And so I knew that in order to do that, especially in my, weakened state, I no longer had the choice to do it all. I had to enlist help. So that moment also put me on this quest to shed light on this and support other people in not having to have that cancer moment, that tragedy, whatever it looks like for you. It doesn't have to be that way, right? You can hear it and change it. You do not have to have some moment like this that completely disrupts your life. You can hear this and make the change now.
Yes, exactly. Because it's like, let's not wait until something major happens. I know we had talked about this before, a little bit before, and how you were talking about how the cancer came.
Yeah.
And I think people would love to hear a little bit about that, because it goes into the power of play heavily.
It definitely does. It definitely does. So, I had spent many years tightly wound, right? Doing attorney. But before the age of 30, I was chief legal officer of a brokerage firm. Again, like I had shared, this Wolf of Wall Street, like truly Wolf of Wall Street, only executive woman, around a bunch of traders who are going to strip clubs, all this like craziness. It was a stressful life. And once I had children and was in my second marriage and was taking it on, I was, just taking it, right? So the truth is that when I learned that I had cancer, while it was a shock to the system, when I looked, it wasn't a surprise, because I have been a big believer in the mind-body connection. I have been doing energy work and healing work and leadership for 20 years and believes in, the power, and we are responsible, and everything is a mirror image of what's within you, right? So what's within, so without, right? So I knew it was all of this that I had taken on, and you didn't ask, but I had breast cancer, and there are many people who say that area is about that, right? Taking all of that on and holding on to it. So that's what it was.
Yep. And that's why we're talking about relinquishing Superwoman, because you were Superwoman. I'm sure everywhere you went, oh my goodness, you're the chief legal officer. Oh my goodness, you have kids. Oh my goodness, you're doing all these amazing things. Superwoman. she's doing it all. She's managing everything. And so you're standing on the outside. This is me, right? This is me. I'm Superwoman.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
Literally dying on the inside. Literally dying on the inside.
Mm-hmm. And you were saying we get to shift that beforehand, right? You don't have to wait till the point of, oh my goodness, life-changing things are happening. Something so scary and, all the things that go up on and here when you get that diagnosis. There's no need to wait for that. You're hearing right now that someone's helping you, is ready to help you get from this Superwoman to actually being able to breathe and choosing you again.
And let's be honest, it's not just me, right? There's so many amazing opportunities. So if somebody else, if Noria resonates with you, if another speaker here, somewhere else, just the point is, don't wait for that disruption.
Yes, exactly. Choose you now.
Reclaim
you now. Incorporate the power of play. When you talked about, so I think somebody asked this in the Facebook group, when you talked about the what was it, the manifesting man? What was it?
Yeah, my manifesting my lemonade
man.
Yeah.
Lemonade man. That story is still so funny for me, right? As you were going through that life, through that situation, what did that help you through? Because you don't just decide to laminate a man just for fun. Like, you know what? Today I'm just laminate this guy. Boom. He's my new dude. Something had to take you to, you know what? Let me create some fun here. What was going on in your life that you decided to bring that play in and have that fun?
It was, it was a disruption before the cancer. It was about, I don't know how many years, do the math, but I was at such a low point. I had just divorced my first husband. I had left this job that, frankly, as stressful and hard as it was also so much of my identity, right, was wrapped up into that. So I just was at this low point, and I was visiting my parents, as I, often did, and just having this pity party, right? And I had this moment of, maybe it was divine intervention that was like, you cannot keep doing this. You're torturing yourself. I heard once, and I don't know who said it, but it's like an ancient quote, why choose suffering when you can have only pain? And I thought about that in that moment, and I was like, okay, yes, Gila, there is pain in what you're going through, but stop the suffering. And so something just came over me, and I said, the way for me to stop the suffering is to make this so ridiculous and so silly that all I can do is laugh at myself. And I kid you not, my closest friend at the time really was like, do we need some kind of intervention? I think we may need to admit you somewhere with a room with rubber walls. And I was like, I promise, I know this is not real, but it was just so outrageous that it made it easy. So it was divine intervention that just helped me, and like I said, the years of leadership, of personal development, of this quest for self-mastery and for being better.
And it's another example of where the power of play really, really helped to shift. You decided in that moment not to deal with the suffering. You decided in that moment to play instead, to have fun and enjoy things instead. And then you created that multiple other times. And that's why you're able to create that, help others create it for themselves during the workshop, and additional programs that you have. So if you're, what, are they texting day one? You're going to text day one, DAY space 1 to 443-594-7733. So you can get the recap and also watch the replay of Gila's video, and also get access to be able to join her workshop. Because she's like, I almost said a curse word. I almost said the F word, because I was like, she's like, you are coming and bringing 2 of your friends? Like, where is that happening at? It's amazing, because it's time to heal together. Imagine if you're walking with your friends. Hey guys, it's me. Hey, we're having a good time. You're all healed, and they're back here hiding and doing all that stuff. Your friends are no longer fun for you. Y'all aren't having fun together anymore, because they're still hiding and you're living out loud, right? You want to be living out loud with your friends. And something about this healing journey helps all of you to continue to promote each other, have each other's backs, cheerlead together, grow together. But if they're all back here hiding still, questioning, doubting, constantly thinking that they're not good enough and trying to still be Superwoman and all the things, while you're standing out loud and being you, where does that friendship go? Right? You want to do it together. That's the way.
And how much harder is it to bring yourself to that place, right? When you're surrounded by people who are still, in that place of low vibration. So, again, rising tide.
Exactly. Rising tide. And that's why we like to do the retreats like this. That's why this speaking event, everyone is in the room together too, as we're speaking online, as we're speaking virtually as well. Because when we're all in the room together, what that's doing is that high vibration, that energy is seeping through the room, right? And you're getting to learn something. And at dinner and at lunch and at breakfast and all the things, there's additional things that you guys don't get to see virtually, obviously, right? You don't get to see it virtually. But being in the room, it's a whole different ballgame. And so you definitely want to be in the room. I want to make sure that you text. Is it just Ilika?
Mm-hmm.
Look at me. Text my name, Ilika, ILEKA, to 443-594-7733. Because we're going to be doing this again in February, right? And you want to be in the room to experience such transformation and just learning and growing, right? Doing it as a community is gold. So
much
what's the one last tip or last thing you want to give the audience, to leave with the audience, so that they know, you know what, I'm stepping to this workshop? And obviously you need to be in Gila's ecosphere, right? So you're going to be sending her something, right?
Thank you. I think the be kind to your future self, which I barely touched on, is super, super powerful, right? Again, credit to my friend Lee Emery, but when you in any moment ask, is the choice I'm making kind to the future self? Is this in line with the woman I say I want to be? You can only be that person with some form of lightness and fun. So
yes, that is awesome. Thank you so much, Gila. You have shared such amazing. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Get your word. And for everyone here, we're going to transition to the next in a second. But we are going to be sharing. If you have texted day one to the phone number, it should be across the screen. At some point, you should know this. I've said it 7 million times. I'm going to say it again for the folks who weren't listening, right? It's 443-594-7733. And if you text day one, DAY space 1 to that number, you're going to get, not only are you going to get access to the replay of such an amazing event, right? But you're also going to get the, what's the thing called? Oh, you're also going to get the link to the offers, the link to the workshop that Gila has, the power of play, right? I'm telling you, you want to be in that room. You want to be in that workshop. And you're also going to get the link to the offers that Nuria spoke about as well. You want to be in the ecosphere of these amazing women. So we're going to take a quick commercial break again, right? Because we have some incredible sponsors. First, right now, I am wearing the earrings of one of our sponsors. Her name is Leah Johnson. She has a company called Southern Cernova. And first of all, they go so cute with my outfit. I didn't want to highlight that these earrings are going so well with my outfit, but look, I'm just showing Instagram really quickly, and I will show the rest of you on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. Like, these earrings are bomb. And she's different types, and they're handmade, I believe. Like, she's incredible. So we're going to also send you guys the link and information to our sponsors too, and they have commercials that are going to show up as well. So you want to see and hear more about them, because when you have earrings like this, guess what? You get to show up a little better. You get to show up a little more you, especially if you're kind of significant like me. No, I'm just joking. Significance is the type of ego that we have, that some people have, and I am definitely one of those. So yes, these earrings are gorgeous. They are, right?
Yeah.
And and each of the ladies in the room, you all have a pair of earrings from Southern Nova on your bed that came as you all showed up with your suitcase and your bag and here for the retreat. You also received a pair of earrings from Supernova. So I'm super excited about Supernova. Southern Cernova. My gosh. So the earrings are gorgeous. I'm in love with these right now. So, and they're all different types. So it's just beautiful. All right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to go to our sponsors and we will be right back. Thanks, everybody. Oh, yes. Oh, it looks like my phone must have died. Yeah, but clinics, med spas, wellness coaches. Okay, listen up. Are you struggling with constantly trying to get more leads so you can actually bring people into your business? Do you find yourself in a situation where you're going using 17 different systems, trying to get them all to talk through zaps all over the place? And what's the other one that they're struggling with?
Are you struggling with not being able to effectively nurture and manage the leads that you've worked so hard to get?
Well, if that is you, then let us tell you something. All right, so first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Ilika Follett, and I'm a wellness business strategist who works with overworked wellness pros looking to move away from the chase and the grind to monthly recurring revenue. And we do this by working less, living more, and feeling better.
And I'm Carmela Wilson. And I work with Relinquish Superwoman. I am an automation expert, and we've put our heads together and founded Wellness Growth Pro just for you. We talked about the issues earlier of generating leads, nurturing those leads, and managing 17 million different systems. Well, we have a solution that is a complete game changer for the industry. And it is called Wellness Growth Pro, and we can tell them more about it.
So Wellness Growth Pro, like Carmela said, is gonna change your business. Here's the thing, right? I was in the wellness community. I was a health and wellness coach, fitness trainer for about 7 years. I found myself constantly working on my business, constantly trying to create my landing pages, and then my landing pages are in this system, and then my email system's in this system. I'm trying to get them all to talk, right? And I found myself constantly doing all these things and not having enough time to actually do what I love to do, which was coach my clients, help them achieve their goals.
Been there.
Yep, exactly. And so now with Wellness Growth Pro, we get to shift all that for you. We've got a system that brings everything together for you, and we've got the support that you need to ensure that you get to manage your business.
That's right. You don't just get the system, you get our brains, and you get the support you need to get up and running fast. We're not here just trying to collect a monthly subscription. We don't succeed unless you succeed. So we're here to help you every step of the way.
Exactly. And you won't find that anywhere else. So if you are ready, I want you to go to wellnessgrowthpro.com. Click on that button. We'll sit down and have a quick chat, and let's take your business to the next level. wellness clinics, med spas, wellness coaches. Okay, listen up. Are you struggling with constantly trying to get more leads so you can actually bring people into your business? Do you find yourself in a situation where you're using 17 different systems, trying to get them all to talk through Zaps all over the place? And what's the other one they're struggling with?
Are you struggling with not being able to effectively nurture and manage the leads that you've worked so hard to get?
Well, if that is you, then let us tell you something. All right, so first, let's introduce ourselves. I'm Ilika Follett, and I'm a wellness business strategist who works with overworked wellness pros looking to move away from the chase and the grind to monthly recurring revenue. And we do this by working less, living more, and feeling better.
And I'm Carmela Wilson. And I work with Relinquish Superwoman. I am an automation expert, and we've put our heads together and founded Wellness Growth Pro just for you. We talked about the issues earlier of generating leads, nurturing those leads, and managing 17 million different systems. Well, we have a solution that is a complete game changer for the industry. And it is called Wellness Growth Pro, and we can tell them more about it.
So Wellness Growth Pro, like Carmela said, is gonna change your business. Here's the thing, right? I was in the wellness community. I was a health and wellness coach, fitness trainer for about 7 years. I found myself constantly working on my business, constantly trying to create my landing pages, and then my landing pages are in this system, and then my email system's in this system. I'm trying to get them all to talk, right? And I found myself constantly doing all these things and not having enough time to actually do what I love to do, which was coach my clients, help them achieve their goals.
Been there.
Yep, exactly. And so now with Wellness Growth Pro, we get to shift all that for you. We've got a system that brings everything together for you, and we've got the support that you need to ensure that you get to manage your business.
That's right. You don't just get the system, you get our brains, and you get the support you need to get up and running fast. We're not here just trying to collect a monthly subscription. We don't succeed unless you succeed. So we're here to help you every step of the way.
Exactly. And you won't find that anywhere else. So if you are ready, I want you to go to wellnessgrowthpro.com. Click on that button. We'll sit down and have a quick chat, and let's take your business to the next level. Back. Thank you, everyone. Thank you to our sponsors. Awesome. So today is day one, and we're about to have our final speaker for day one. And remember, everyone, this is a 2-day event, so you can come back. We want you to come back tomorrow at 11 a.m., where you're going to hear from 3 additional amazing speakers, talking about everything from going from trauma to joy to financial wellness and money mindset, as well as how you get to reclaim your time and manage that mile-long to-do list. Okay, these are the topics for tomorrow, so you definitely want to be back for that as well. Today, we are leaning even further into choosing you, okay? Also, wait, real fast, I forgot to mention it, because we got to mention it every 2 seconds, that if you want to really get into the Facebook group and you want to be closer to these speakers in their ecosphere, having conversations with them, asking questions while you watch your live, then text the word day one. So it's DAY space 1 to 443-594-7733, because this is where the magic happens. This is what you want to definitely get into and be able to see and watch while we're talking, and be able to be engaged, asking your questions, and really get into the ecosphere of our speakers. Plus, when you text day one, you also get the links to their offers and their distribution list, because you want to read Noria's blog about Furia, right? You want to read what Gila is talking about the laminated man, and laminated life, right? Gila taught me something around laminating your life in terms of being able to look at the things that we're doing every day that we're not in love with doing. Why are we spending 4 hours on laundry? Is that fun? If it is fun for you, keep going, right? That's your thing. Laundry's your thing. But I will tell you, for me, that's not a fun thing, right? I will let those clothes pile up. I definitely, at home right now, have a basket of clean laundry that has not been folded. And guess when it's being folded? tomorrow when my laundry lady comes in and folds it, right? That is what we do. That is what we get to do. And guess what that gives me? It gives me time, more time and opportunity to spend with my babies, right? More time to spend at an amazing retreat like this with amazing women connecting, right? More time to spend with my husband, not involved in laundry, So we get to do that. So these are some great pieces. And remember, these speakers are giving you just a tidge. That's not a word. But you know what I'm saying? Just a bit today, right? They're giving, if you got something today from this small bit of information they were able to give in a 30 to 45 minute time slot, imagine what you get when you're actually in a room with them, right? At their events, at their retreats. Or imagine what you get when you're actually in their workshop, in their coaching program, right? This is a game changer. So if you got something today, stepping into their ecosphere, that's where shifts happen. That's where they get to be a tool for your own healing as they've had theirs and their clients have had theirs. All right. So, and then, like I said, if you want to be in that room with amazing speakers like this next in February, along with maybe even coming up and speaking yourself, if you're a transformational coach, a wellness coach, a financial money mindset coach, right? If you are in that space and you want to be in this room, then text the word ILEKA. You got the number by now, right? It's 443-594-7733. I know it by heart now. I didn't earlier. So now we all know it by heart, right? So text ILEKA, which is my name, ILEKA. Remember, I'm a wellness business strategist. So I work with wellness entrepreneurs to help them become more visible, to help them reclaim their time, right? And to help them shift their mindset. And using my Reclaim Your Revenue methodology, I show them how to go from that chasing that grind to monthly recurring revenue. That's what we get to do, right? Because the grind is done. We already did Superwoman. We're past that, right? We're past that. And how many wellness entrepreneurs are finding themselves teaching the thing, but then feeling a little bit like a fraud because the thing that they're teaching, they're not 100% doing, right? Are you one of those wellness entrepreneurs? You're teaching to take your time back, to manage your schedule, right? You're teaching to choose you and to spend time managing your own self and your own state so that you can deliver to others. And yet you're finding yourself frustrated and running around from thing to thing and you've lost your peace, right? And so we get to move away from that chasing the grind and step into the monthly recurring revenue. And that is what I teach wellness entrepreneurs. So you get to work less, live more, feel better while reclaiming your revenue. And that's what we do here in the Reclaim Your Revenue retreat. So if you text the word ILEKA to 443-594-7733, then you get to learn more about how you can reclaim your revenue. All right. So let's get to our next speaker. I'm super excited about this. I'm going to tell you. And when I met this woman, we met about 4 or 5 months ago in Goals, Gifts, and Gaps. Now, if y'all haven't been watching commercials, then you might not know what Goals, Gifts, and Gaps is. But if you have, or frankly, in my opinion, if you live on the planet, you should know what this is, right? So Goals, Gifts, and Gaps. But if you don't live on Earth, you might live somewhere else, then maybe you don't know, right? But if you're here on Earth, this is the place for you. So Goals, Gifts, and Gaps, it's one of our sponsors, Deanna Jean. And it's a place for networking and collaboration that is unlike any you've ever seen. So I actually met Yvette Howard, our next speaker, in a networking collaboration circle within Goals, Gifts, and Gaps about 4 months ago. And I happened to be talking about my Reclaim Your Revenue retreat, where speakers where wellness entrepreneurs were going to be able to come up and speak about their gifts, share their expertise in front of the audience of about 70,000 or more, and how we were going to put it in different spaces and different places so that their ideal client gets to connect with them, right? Gets to see them. You become more visible, and your ideal client gets to see you and decide to sign up for your program, because what you have is a gift that they need. So I met Yvette Howard here in Goals, Gifts, and Gaps. And when we met, I mentioned Reclaim Your Revenue. And she's like, ooh, I want to hear a little more about that. And so I said, well, okay. So it's a retreat that I'm hosting where I'm showing women I'm showing wellness entrepreneurs how to host profitable retreats. And also, we're going to be speaking in front of an audience of about 70,000 or more live. So we take them through the process of speaking and really stepping in there so that folks can see what you have to offer and jump on in, right? And she was like, I am in. And I was like, okay, well, what do you do? And so she's like, well, let me just tell you, first of all, and all of a sudden, Miss Yvette stepped up, right? First of all, ma'am, I am, and this, I was speaking as her, she is a mental health therapist and transformational coach who's also getting her doctorate right now. She has shifted people's lives, right? She's helped them to really release some of the things that come up and is happening here and to transform. And she steps into, I'm not going to give her talk away, but when she began speaking about relationships with others and relationships with self by understanding attachment style, I was like, oh my gosh, I'd never heard it before. And it was a game changer. Like, it really helps to see and shift where you're going. So Yvette is going to come up here now. It's an amazing woman, amazing mom, another former, right? Coming up here to share her gift. Come on, Yvette, thank you.
Hello, and thank you for allowing me to be in your energy, be in your space, and on this journey of self-love and learning a piece of you, which is your attachment style. So I will be discussing attachment styles and how it connects with our self-love. So first, I want to thank you all again for having me on this journey with you today. And I'm so excited to be able to share my story, share experiences and my knowledge with you on self-love and your attachment style. So to get started, I'm going to share a little bit about me. When I was growing up, self-love was pretty much shown as, I've seen self-love shown in like movies or listening to different songs, and that was like my perspective of what self-love was. Until I did some deep healing, some deep self-awareness for myself so that I can know pretty much more what self-love was. So drop the word music in the chat if you use music to be able to write your story, use the lyrics from music to write your story. I want to know who out here loves music, wants to use music to help them with their healing, to help them with their mindset, to help them with anything that has come their way. You turn on that radio station, or you turn on nowadays, it's what, Apple Music, Amazon Music, whatever you use to be able to reflect using music, drop music in the chat. Mm-hmm. So for me, one song in particular that I used, especially growing up, was the song by Christina Aguilera, Beautiful. Mm-hmm. That song, the title speaks for itself. She's basically saying that for herself as well, giving herself positive affirmations that she is beautiful, no matter what, no matter the flaws, no matter the mistakes she made, no matter how she or what outside people think of her, she still felt beautiful. And that was an anthem for myself that I had to use. Even growing up, there was I would say I had some insecurities growing up. I'm short, and I have tall friends. I was really skinny at the time, and so I felt like looking at music videos that I need to look this certain way, have this certain figure of myself, and I didn't see that. I didn't see what I saw in music videos of myself. So that was a lot of the insecurities. But listening to that song by Christina Aguilera, Beautiful, really inspired me to know that I am who I am, and they are who they are, and that's all that matters. And so that goes to show that comparing yourself and using social media to help you figure out who you are is not healthy, because you're going based on other people's stories and you're not seeing the inside, the real them on social media. So make sure to look at yourself in the mirror before looking at the people on social media or this outside world. I know I have a lot of clients, especially clients who are millennials, who are constantly comparing themselves to their friends, to stuff that they see on social media. And they're like, I should be here because of this person is there. And that's their journey and this is yours. So I always have constantly to remind myself and my clients that to go on your own journey, because that's where it's most effective for you in your life. And then I'll go on to share a little bit more of my story. Again, I am a transformational coach, a licensed therapist, a social worker, and a doctorate candidate in organizational leadership with emphasis in behavioral health. I am a clinical supervisor where I assist interns, upcoming licensed therapists, in supporting them, encouraging them, and sharing my knowledge and experience so that they can be thriving therapists for our community. And so that is also what I'm getting my doctorate in. So as a transformational coach, it is my mission to help you identify and reclaim your time and energy so that you can have harmony in your life that reflects on your values. How many of you know what your values are? How many of you have went back and listed out your values? Not a lot of us, because I know for a fact that when I first start with my clients, I ask them what their values are. And the first question and their answer is, I don't know. So that's one step that you need to take, is go back and reflect on your values, and not your parents' values, not your grandma's values, but your values, because that's what matters the most. I'm going to share a little story about myself. So yes, I have, I'm getting my doctorate. Yes, I have a license as a therapist. And yes, I am licensed as a social worker. But with all that education behind me, I had to realize what was holding me back. That high achieving perfectionist mindset would always hold me back from doing things, especially right now. Mm-hmm. It kind of wanted to come out. I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I'll just send those slides and they can read it themselves. But I had to realize that I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to have flaws. I'm going to look a certain way than other people. And that is what is unique about me. And that is what's most important for me, is understanding and being aware of who I am. And that is what self-love is all about. And so there were times where I'm going to go back. I didn't really realize my insecurities until after I ended a 6-year relationship with my then ex-boyfriend. I went to therapy. I have my own therapist and my own coach. And I went to therapy, and my therapist told me, you were emotionally abused. You actually had some physical abuse too. And I didn't realize that. I'm like, well, how could I, the therapist, that the one that tells my clients that you need to get out of this relationship, or I don't tell them that, but I help them process that. And so how could I be able to do that for my clients, but I couldn't do that for myself? I couldn't see the red flags, or maybe I didn't want to see the red flags. I didn't notice that the words that he was saying to me in my relationship was really affecting me. I was really low in my life at that time. And after I ended that relationship was when I really realized that I need to make a change for myself. I need to do things that aligns with my values, aligns with my goals, and aligns with who I am overall. And so there was 3 things that I did to get me to where I am today. And that is, I went and got my own therapist, like I said. And when I was in therapy, he re-educated me on attachment styles. And as soon as he told me that, I went and grabbed the book Attached by Amin Levere, if you want to look up the book. And I read that book. I listened to the book. I read the book. I listened to the book because I'm like, whoa, this is me, and that's him, and that's my friend, and that's my mom. And so I connected myself with the attachment style that I am, which is anxious. I was very anxious. I was a overgiver, a people pleaser, an empath. I just wanted everything to be perfect because I didn't want nothing to fail. I didn't want you to neglect me or abandon me because I failed you, or I did something wrong, or I looked at you the wrong way, or whatever the case may be. I just wanted everything to be right, and I put my all into other people, and including within my relationship, than I did myself. And that's when I lost myself. So that was the first thing I learned. The next thing I learned was being more self-compassion, having more self-compassion for myself. What does that mean? What does that look like? That means having gratitude for yourself, thanking yourself for the failure that you made, thanking yourself for the goals that you achieved. Start acknowledging those things for yourself. And that is what self-compassion looks like. You are being nice to yourself. You're being kind to yourself. You're being like who you would be to the people outside of you, to yourself. You're being your friend. And that's what self-compassion looks like for me. I also had to start to set boundaries for myself. I would always say, yes, okay, how much you need, what can I do for you, all of that. If they asked me, it was given. But then it was depleting my cup. My cup was getting lower and lower and lower. And when I looked in the mirror every day, I'm like, I'm always giving, and I'm never getting nothing in return. What is going on? Why can't I get it exactly what I'm giving? Why can't someone else be like me? But there are times where communication is key. I never expressed that either. So how could anyone ever know what my needs were or what I needed if I didn't say anything about it? And so I had to remind myself that start to speak up, start to communicate. And if you're down, if you're sad, it's okay to be sad. It's not weak. It's not, you're not seen as insecure. It's an emotion that we all have within us, and it's okay to have those emotions.
Yes.
So make sure to start doing those 3 steps. And then I had to start defining what self-love was for me. Like I said earlier, I define self-love based off movies, based off musical songs. But I had to really define what self-love was to me. And what I came up with was self-love is the rock upon which our emotions and ideas can rest securely. So when you have the self-love for yourself, pretty much, you are secure because you don't care what anybody else thinks at that time. You don't care if they are, saying something about your hair or saying something about what you wear, because it's about you. And self-love is not selfish. You can be selfish. That's why they made the word, right? So be selfish. I also needed to gain an understanding of what the true importance of self-love was. So yes, I defined it, but I also had to gain knowledge of what true self-love really meant to me. And depending on your attachment style is how you define your own self-love. So I'll get more into attachment style soon, but attachment style really does connect to how you see yourself and view yourself as well. And I also was able to start constantly affirming myself, affirming my strengths, affirming my reality, and start to deplete the negative self-talk, because we always harbor on all the negative things. This didn't go right. I look horrible. We're always looking at the worst and the bad, but we're never appreciating and accepting the positives. So when you start to look more at the positive, those negative things start to decrease. So I would like to share some self-love quotes, self-love affirmations, and you can repeat after me, or you can say it out loud, or you can say it in your mind. But the first is, I am worthy of love and support. No matter my attachment style, I am constantly growing and evolving in my relationships. So if you want to write this down, if you want to take note of it, so you can put it on a sticky note, put it on the mirror, put it on the fridge, places where you know you're going to constantly see this reminder. You can write this down. I share it with you. You can also write your own, whichever the one. But when you say these words to yourself, start to notice where in your body that you're feeling the appreciation. Start to notice that when I say these affirmations, I feel more calm, grounded, and neutral in this certain area. For me, I'm more calm, grounded, and neutral in my abdomen area because normally I get really nervous and really feel like just really nervous, the butterfly effect. And so when I begin to repeat these affirmations, I notice those butterflies and that nervousness starts to deplete because I'm being more aware of who I am in my affirmations. So give yourself the permission to notice those things. Drop a heart in the chat if you noticed anything when you did say those words or read those words to yourself. Drop a heart if you are becoming more aware of who you are. Okay, so I'm sure you're wondering, what in the world does attachment style have to do with self-love? Get to it, Yvette. Okay, I'm well. Okay, so I'm going to call out some things that you may resonate with, which can be a representation of your attachment style. But there is no judgment. Please be mindful of yourself. So I'm going to use music again because I love music. I love putting on my jams to reflect on this type of attachment style. So if you've ever heard of the song by Eminem and Rihanna, Love the Way You Lie, this song is pretty much about how Rihanna will accept and sacrifice and do whatever she needs to do in this relationship just to keep her man, pretty much. She will tolerate the unhealthiness. She will do whatever she has to do just to keep her man. And so thinking about that song, drop the word acceptance in the chat if you agree that there are times where you sacrifice yourself, you do whatever you have to do just to keep the person in your life. And it doesn't even have to be relationship wise. It can be in a job. You're just stuck in this job that you put your all into, you sacrificed, you did all these things for, and you're just going to stay because you've already sacrificed all these things and you please your job. It could be your family members where you could be a mother, where you're constantly doing for your child or your grandchildren because you don't want them to not care about you or not love you if you don't do it, if you tell them no. So drop the word acceptance in the chat if this resonates with you. Or how about you are so independent, all the independent women, that you don't need any support. You don't need any guidance. You can do it on your own. You don't have trust in anyone because you want to make sure everything is right. So if this is you, drop the word independence in the chat if you can relate to that. Or again, here's my song. Like the Katy Perry song, if you know this song, Katy Perry is singing, her chorus is saying, you're hot and you're cold, you're yes and you're no, you're in and you're out, you're up and you're down. This song pretty much is saying that you want connection, you want love, you want a relationship, but you're too afraid. You're pushing them away, but then you're also luring them in, like, okay, come back, but you're getting too close, so get a little bit further back. How many of you resonate with that? If you really want the connection and you really want a relationship, but it's very hard for you because of your fear of not having the trust in someone, or the fear of being abandoned, or you're going to get hurt again. If this resonates with you, drop the word connections in the chat. And then lastly, you have a positive self-image about yourself. You love yourself. You accept yourself. You love connections. You love relationships. This is the secure style. You pretty much don't care about what anybody thinks, but you also care. You also have enough care to accept criticism, or accept knowledge, or accept anything that people throw at you. Drop the word secure in the chat if this resonates with you. So I just mentioned 4 attachment styles. The first one is anxious, preoccupied, dismissive, avoidant, fearful, avoidant, and secure. And these attachment styles start when you are in the caregiving stage. So when you're younger and you had different types of caregivers, that affects your attachment style, which again, the attachment style affects who you are as your self-love. So if you are avoidant and it's hard for you to build connections with other people. It can also be hard for you to build a connection with yourself, because you don't want to be seen as weak. You don't want to be seen as a person that can't do for themselves. And so that is what an avoidant attachment style looks like. And if you're anxious, you're constantly wanting to give, and please, so you won't get neglected. So if you are wanting to know more about what your attachment style is, make sure to check out the link in the text and the day one text. There will be an attachment style quiz that I made up. And you can take the quiz and you can find out what your attachment style is. So once you are more aware of yourself, and the moment you are more, you accept yourself, then having self-compassion is a much more easier component for you. And so that was the next thing that I learned, was having more self-compassion for myself, building that self-compassion. So let me ask you, when was the last time you truly became honest with yourself and looked in the mirror and began to make changes for yourself, become aware of yourself, and accepted yourself? When was the last time you really reflected on who you were? If you haven't done so, please go do it. This is the start of building that self-compassion. I want to remind you that making sure you put yourself first is a priority, and it's not selfish. You need to put yourself first. Just like on the airplane, you have to put your mask on first before you put the mask on your neighbor, your child, your husband, whoever is with you. So once you acknowledge being able to build self-compassion, then setting healthy boundaries will become just as easy, and it'll be more consistent. Because sometimes we say we're going to set these boundaries, we're going to do all these things, and then it gets lost in the sauce. So once you become aware of your attachment style, you have more self-compassion, then setting the boundaries will become easier for you and more consistent. You'll stop overgiving. Like for me, you stop overgiving. You will set limits and be more assertive. You will have healthier communication, and you'll become aware of who you are and what you will and will not tolerate. So I will ask for you to make a promise to yourself, and these are the 3 promises that I told myself after ending that 6-year relationship. And the first one is, I promise to prioritize self-care.
Mm-hmm.
I promise to embrace self-acceptance.
Yes.
And I promise to establish and honor healthy boundaries. And if any of those three promises resonate with you, drop a 1, 2, or 3 in the chat if any of those resonate. And make sure you stick with this promise. You can write it down again, put it on a sticky note, and remind yourself of these 3 promises or what the promise that resonates with you. Or you can make your own promise. But make these promises because that keeps you accountable of what you will and will not tolerate for yourself. And that is exactly what I teach my clients and what I've learned for myself. So with my clients and in my program, Reflect with Yvette, I have 3 different missions that I would like to help you with, which is reflect, reclaim, or restore. But my biggest mission is to help you restore your overall well-being. And in this program, you get 9 sessions of use when you can within the 3-month time span of reflecting and restoring yourself. And the first thing you'll do is uncover your true self by removing limiting beliefs. So how many of us, like myself, struggle with the negative self-talk, the negative mindsets that always pops up? This is what I will be helping you with. We'll also have established and consistent self-care plan. A lot of us, including myself in the past, have said that we want to do all this self-care, we want to do this and that and the third, but we don't get to it. So I will make sure that you have an established self-care plan to move on to use moving forward. You'll also gain healthier communication in your relationships and with yourself, and you'll be able to achieve and improve your habits. So we'll start eliminating, like I said, those negative self-talks. We will get back into the things that truly matter to you and take you on a journey where you can utilize these steps forever. So think about it. When was the last time you were kind to yourself? When was the last time you put yourself first before other people? Start to think about these things and start to think about when was the last time you actually accepted yourself. So if you're ready to start and invest in your time and your new life journey, then being able to utilize the program that I have, which is Restore, a 9-session program, can get you started. And this is for you if you have a desire for personal and professional development, if you are open to exploring new perspectives and challenging your limiting beliefs, if you are open to self-reflection and you're willing to embrace the change, this program is definitely for you. So if you have any questions, please feel free. I am done. And thank you. You've been always amazing.
Absolutely amazing. Yes. And you know what I loved is, you have the attachment style quiz that folks can go in, and you'll get the link to the quiz when you register using day 1. But you have the attachment style quiz that folks can go in and understand their attachment style. And that's for everyone, right? That's for everyone that's watching. You can understand your attachment style by going and taking the quiz that Yvette has created for you. There's going to be some folks who are like, you know what? The quiz is great and all, but I know I need more, right? I know that what Yvette talked about around that journey to self-love, the part that really resonated when you said, self-love, self-acceptance, and healthy boundaries. That's a space when that spoke to you today. If you were someone that really resonated with and that really spoke to you, and you were like, oh my gosh, that's me. Oh my gosh. Or maybe you didn't even raise your hand. Maybe you just sunk back with everyone you heard. Self-love, self-acceptance. Healthy boundaries, right? Compassion, right? And it just, you were just feeling like you were getting hit each time. Then this is why the 9-session Restore program is for you, because this is what you need to truly have the healing, right? Remember, vessel, right? the vessels. You are doing the work though, because you get to have that transformation and you can have someone guide you through it because you've tried to do it alone. Heck, I've tried doing it. Heck, Yvette is a therapist and transformation coach, and she also has a transformation coach and therapist because we all think that we can do it alone. But when the professionals can't do it alone, when Gila's like, I have a transformation coach, when Nori's like, I have a transformation coach, when Yvette's like, I have a transformation coach, these are the experts and they have a coach. So imagine the healing that takes place when you get to work with these experts, right? Because any coach worth their salt has a coach. I will let y'all know, my coach is here. My coach is here today with me at our Reclaim Your Revenue retreat. Because when you invest in you, when you invest in your healing, when you invest in your business, that's when growth happens. That's when the transformation happens. So I know there were tons of questions that came up, especially around attachment style. So I know you talked about the book that you read to get to get an understanding of attachment styles. Can you talk about what that's opened up for you once you started to see not only your understanding yours, but even as you're connecting with a client and you immediately see their, because I know you immediately see their attachment style, right?
Yeah.
And so what does that open up in terms of you helping them through their transformation?
Well, learning my attachment style gave me the starting point of where I need to start on my journey of getting from insecure to secure. So like I said, being more self-aware, start building those boundaries. I was anxious attachment, so I definitely had to start setting more boundaries for myself because as a people pleaser, recovering people pleaser, I constantly said yes. The word no, even though it's a 2-letter word, that was the hardest word to say as an anxious person because I didn't want to let you down. I didn't want to upset you. And if I did, then I was afraid that you would leave me and not be around me anymore. So once I learned my attachment style, I was able to start moving forward with what I needed to work on in that realm, which was setting the boundaries, communicating my feelings, communicating my thoughts, and not feel like someone is judging me based on those feelings and emotions.
And that's major too, because that helps you to even see differently. Like we were talking yesterday here at the retreat, because remember this is a whole retreat, and you guys are just getting the speaker part, right? Today and tomorrow, you're going to be able to hear these amazing speakers, and there's so much more that we're experiencing in this Reclaim Your Revenue retreat. So yesterday we were talking about relationships and how many times, and I'm not going to go through the whole restaurant theory that we talked about, but many times you'll go from being at a foundational level with one person, right? And maybe you guys have continued to grow in your relationship. You've gotten to not an expert level, but you've gotten to a level where you're extremely exclusive. Maybe you're married, maybe you're living together, and then that relationship ends for whatever reason, right? And there's pain there's things that happen. And now you may go and meet someone else. But because there hasn't been understanding, healing, and really because you don't understand your attachment style, right? Now you continue to attract the exact same person. And instead of going back to the foundational level for yourself and for the relationship, you take that next person right to the exclusive level. And when you understand your attachment style and have done that restorative healing, now it's a game changer. Now you're not looking at that same person over and over. You're not attracting that same guy. Now you're leaning into something new, something real, and something that actually aligns with you versus the broken you.
Yes.
It aligns with the healed you. That's a game changer. Oh my goodness. So Yvette, tell us about, because I know you mentioned you have the 3 programs. It's Restore, Reclaim, and what was the first one?
Reflect, Reclaim, Restore.
Yes. So what are like when someone goes, they step in and reflect and they're getting to know you? Because many times people will step into the beginning because, it's new. It's like, and it's also, especially if you're way back here, you heard it's time for self-care. It's time for self-love. It's time for self-acceptance. It's time for healthy boundaries. And you were hit each time, right? You were, that's me, that's right? So you may be tweaking in, kind of leaning in a little bit and saying, okay, I'm ready for a reflect. I don't know if I'm necessarily restored yet because I know you could help me all the way through, but because I'm scared and I don't necessarily believe in me yet, I may want to step in at the beginning. So what's the foundational step that you take your clients through?
The first step is we have to identify your attachment style. So that way I know how to help you. So if you're having insecurities of not wanting to leave a relationship or not wanting to leave a job or wanting to start a business, I at least know where to start with identifying your attachment styles. Then we go into your values. Values is definitely important because it helps you with your goals. We start setting your goals, and then we start making sure you have a plan, like I said, a self-care plan that you can utilize within yourself for the future.
I mean, even just imagine it, and then you get to go one step further into reclaim and then restore. Like that is a game changer. That's a major shift. Really understanding the attachment style, I mean, how you're going to show up in different types of relationships, right? Like and in your business, exactly, because your business is a relationship, right? So how are you showing up in those spaces? And then leaning into your values. When you mentioned that most people don't know their values, I was like, oh my gosh. And then I realized a few years ago, I didn't know my values.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my goodness, it's super true.
Yeah.
And it helps you to really step into the life that you want, the business that you want, the career that you want. So that's gold. So what's one additional one last thing you want to leave the audience with so they know that especially for the folks who know right now, they're ready for restore?
One last thing. Put yourself first. You could put yourself first, invest in yourself, so that you can have a healthier lifestyle for yourself. You can start getting to those goals and stop being stagnant and start doing what you've been promising yourself for a very long time. So put yourself first.
Yes, exactly. Especially as women, we don't, right? Yep. Right? We're too busy being Superwoman to put ourselves first, right?
I love when you
no, so busy as Superwoman. How can I put myself first? And if I put myself first, I'm selfish. I've got to protect the world. No, you don't. Nobody asked you to do that, right? You just decided. Just like me when I had my 1-year-old, right? 4 kids now, but when my first child was 1, and I was sitting there thinking that I had to do everything, right? You did it too, right?
Well, just now, you remember I wasn't going to come.
Yes.
I had mom guilt.
Uh-huh.
My son had his first open house, and I was like, I'm not coming. What if he grows up and says my mom couldn't even go to my pre-K 3 open house? And I'm like, stop, Yvette. It's okay. He will be okay, and he has support. So those thoughts do come, but you have to keep redirecting yourself and keep remembering why you're doing the things you're doing.
Yes, I love that. That is major because I thought about that when we were talking. Because and that's what we do, right? Oh, I got to be there for everybody, right? That's the anxious attachment style.
Yeah.
And the thing is, what I love that you talked about is that your attachment style isn't wrong. It just is. It's just you, right? Yeah. There's no wrong or right with it. And that's what you were saying, because it's like, it is you. So now you get to understand. You're guiding folks through how to really lean into it, understand it, and see how it shows up. Because when there's the awareness, then that's when the restoring gets to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. If you all aren't in Yvette Howard's ecosphere right now, I don't know what you're doing. I'm gonna just be honest, I don't know what you're doing. So remember, when you text day 1 to 443-594-7733, you will get to see, you will get the link to the attachment style as well as the link to step into her ecosphere, get into the restore, and really, really begin to see that transformation happen. On top of that, remember, day 2 is tomorrow, right? So you get to be a part of day 2 as well, asking questions to the speakers and really standing up for you, investing in yourself. Because whether you're a mom of a puppy, right? Whether you're a dog mom or you're a mom of 17 kids, which sometimes it feels like you have, right? Or auntie mom, right? Or a cousin always babysitting, like whichever that is, right? You get to choose you. And that's what we're talking about here at Relinquish Superwoman, Reclaim You. Thank you so much. That was amazing.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you. So, hey, so what we're going to be doing now is this is day one. Day one has come to a close. So what I want to do is give you some reminders for day two. All right. So day two, which is tomorrow. First of all, we're going to start at 11-ish, right? Today we had some tech problems, some tech concerns, right? Using some different equipment because I decided to get fancy with my equipment and watch YouTube videos, and they were like, "Oh, this is the best one." So I switched from my old cameras to some new cameras, and now we had some tech stuff. So got it all squared away. Now we're killing the game, right? And so tomorrow, though, we're going to be able to start around 11. So I want to make sure. So be sure to register so that you are in here, so that you can ask the questions in the Facebook group, and also you can watch us live because that's the best way to get the experience. And also, if you're like tomorrow, I have my son's soccer game at 1 p.m. Eastern, and so I'll be able to watch the first two sessions, 11 a.m. and 12 p.m. Eastern. But at 1 p.m. Eastern, his soccer game starts, so I'm not going to be able to make it. Well, guess what? Once you register, you get to watch the replay, and so you actually get to see it because that's the thing. You want to make sure you're getting these gems because these are some major gems, right? They have really, thank you to Noria McGrath today for showing you how to choose you and let your light shine. Thank you to Gila Lee, who decided to show you the power of play, bringing that play back into your life. Who else creates a laminated man and creates that level of play? That is like, that story is like one of my favorites because it's so over the top. And it just shows that we get to be extra. We get to have fun. We get to enjoy these spaces, right? And then hearing about attachment style and that journey to self-love from Yvette Howard, like, where are you getting this at? And this is why it's so important to be in these spaces, to be in the room with such amazing experts and talent, to be able to step into your best you, right? When we get to be our most authentic selves, then we get to be our most authentic selves in life, in business, in career. Guess what? That's when success happens. That's when that dream that you've been going after happens, because that dream is a lot tougher when you're not being your most authentic self. And sometimes we haven't been our authentic self for so long that we don't know who that is anymore. And that is why these transformational coaches are ready to help, are here to help you really shift that. And remember, you got a bit of what they could talk about, right? They have miles and miles and miles of experience and expertise. And you got about this much in a 45-minute time period. So imagine if you're actually in their ecosphere. Imagine if you're on Noria's email list and you're getting her blog about Furia and the different things that she talks about. And imagine if you sign up for her sessions and you're actually getting the restorative healing and transformation, right? Imagine what your life gets to look like. Imagine if you're working with Gila and she's showing you how to create play in your life. You come to one of Gila's amazing retreats and she's there showing you how to step into the power of play, right? Imagine if you're at her workshop and you got to bring two friends with you, right? Your two friends came along and you guys got to heal. You guys got to heal and transform together. Oh my goodness. Like, that shifts things. And now you're right here with Yvette Howard, where she is taking you through helping you understand attachment styles, your values, and how that helps to transform so that you get to say, get back there, old me, that me that didn't know who she was. I get to step into the me that knows me. I get to step into my attachment style, embrace the attachment style, and step into self-love, self-care, and healthy boundaries. and self-acceptance, right? That is the game changer. So if you're like, you know what, this is amazing, then I want you to come back tomorrow for day 2. We're starting at 11 a.m. Eastern, right? And also, I want you to know that there's an opportunity to be in this room. You guys are getting some major things being here online, right? You've got some major gems dropped. Imagine being in the room with these experts. Imagine walking in to a private exclusive mansion and you get guided to your room. Come on, sis, right? You get to walk upstairs to your room and you have your own bedroom, usually a king size bed, right? Your own bathroom. You've got some swag and things from our sponsors on your bed, and you are actually getting to choose you and invest in you, right? Invest in you and your transformation. And then you actually get to come into a room and speak about your expertise. You're getting to invest in your business. Other folks are being able to see you and see what you have to offer and gain insight to your ecosphere, to your world. Because when they see what's happening in your world, they know that they can be a part of it. So if you are a wellness entrepreneur, we have an opportunity for you to come and speak as well at this event in February. We're hosting an event called Reclaim Your Revenue in February of 2024. So you've got some time to set up to be able to come. And you could be up here speaking to this audience of 70,000 or more. And then where we continue to share your expertise so folks can get into your ecosphere as well. And also, a small part of this, you also get to learn how to host profitable retreats, profitable exclusive experiences for your clients that allow them to have a transformation, an in-person transformation experience. This is the game changer, and it's not being done anywhere else. So I'm really excited that I get to do it, right? That I get to do it, and these ladies in this room with me get to do it. So come back with us tomorrow. We're starting day 2 at 11 a.m. Eastern, right here where you saw us today, right? But best thing is to join the GPS to Success Facebook group and watch in there, because that's where you get to ask your questions. And when I got up here with each speaker and we're asking questions, many of those questions came from the Facebook group. That's why you want to be in the Facebook group, because you get to ask your questions. You get to ask your personalized questions. What's that mean, right? That means you get to stand up and get to be seen as you, right? You get to see you get to understand where you can go, what your next steps get to be, and you get to hear it from experts. So tomorrow, the experts that are speaking, we have Kaz Lennox, but speaking about, she's going to be talking about going from trauma to joy. Whew, joy. Oh my gosh, like goosebumps, literally, right? Going from trauma to joy in your life. Oh my gosh. And Kaz has some special gifts for folks and everything. So it's gonna be amazing, right? And then we're gonna hear from Jessica McLean, where she's gonna be talking about money mindset, right? How to transform your financial wellness or your finances into financial wellness, right? And so she's gonna be here talking about that. And then I'm gonna come in with a little tidbit on reclaiming your time, how to manage that mile-long to-do list that we're all sick of having and we don't need anymore. All right, so that's tomorrow. I'm super excited. Remember, text day 1 to 443-594-7733, and that's going to get you registered into the speaker thing. And for those of you, I'm just going to say for you who's been watching this, and it's like, I need to be up there. Oh my goodness, I need to be speaking. I need to be sharing my gift in front of an audience of 70,000. And I also need to be in a mansion with some amazing people transforming and having an exclusive experience with a private chef and photographer and videographer from and all these things. That's a game changer for my business, for my wellness business, right? You're a mindset coach, you're a transformation coach, you're a healer, you are a health and fitness coach, you are a nutritionist, you're a dietitian, and you're like, how do I get seen? How do I get my business to the forefront? And how do I shift my time so I'm actually doing the things that I say I can do, right? So that I'm not telling people, hey, choose you, work less, and meanwhile you're, working all the time, right? How do I choose that? How do I step into that? How do I step in that mindset? If that is you, then you can go to reclaimyourrevenue.com, or you can text the word ILEKA, ILEKA, to 443-594-7733. All right, so that's it for day one. We will see you all in day two. I'm super excited. That's a wrap. Yeah!
Deanna Jean, your collab queen, and experts come to me when they are ready to enhance their visibility, their impact, and their revenue. But the experts that I work with, they want to do that by collaborating with other experts, and we do that in our Success Tribe. Sound like your jam? You want to go ahead and join us in our Success Tribe group? Just go to thesuccesstribe.com, and we can't wait to see you there.
Clinics, med spas, wellness coaches. Okay, listen up. Are you struggling with constantly trying to get more leads so you can actually bring people into your business? Do you find yourself in a situation where you're going,